Hello everyone, I'm Exodia, and today we're doing a new part in our Roblox Scripting Advanced tutorial series. Today we're going to be talking about TweenService. Now, TweenService is basically a service in Roblox that we can use to give our objects in-game animations. Now, there is tweening for stuff like GUIs, where you can move them smoothly across the screen or like resize them smoothly. This is basically what TweenService does for your objects in your game and other stuff. It's really useful for example if you want to smoothly animate a part moving across your screen, or even animating a sizing of it, like resizing it to maybe be bigger or smaller, or even animating a rotation. These are just a few things that we can use TweenService for. Now to get started, we'll just make a little part right here, size it to 1, 1, 1, and then set that anchored value to true, and then we'll set it to 0, 5, 0 in our workspace as a position. And so what we will next do is go into server script service and create a brand new script. I'm going to title this TweenService tutorial, just for keeping myself organized as we are doing a tutorial on TweenService. Now the first thing that we always need to do is make a variable for the service. So we'll write local TweenService. Alternatively, you can do TS if you want to abbreviate it. I like to use TweenService just to spell it out so I know exactly what it is. And we'll do game::getService, TweenService. And then we'll make another variable for our part. So local part equals workspace : wait for child part. And then another thing that we can do is make a variable called TweenInfo. And this is going to be important later. You will see that. So what we have to do is write TweenInfo.new. When making a tween, there's some information that we need to provide for it, and that is in this function where it's making new TweenInfo. And so the first parameter of this is the duration of the tween. Usually, for the most part, I have like 1 second, depending on what I'm using. In this case, we're just gonna move the part to a new position. So, or we could resize it. We'll actually do a few examples. We'll just keep the duration at 1. And so I believe if we were to so if we do TweenInfo.new, and before we fill it in, it'll tell us all the parameters. So we have number time, which is what I just explained, the easing style, the easing direction, repeat count, reverses, and the delay time. These last 3 aren't as important as the first 3, so we could just leave those blank and they will get auto-filled by Roblox Studio to the defaults. So we need to have the number time, the easing style, and the easing direction. So first we'll just have 1 second for our time, and then we'll do enum.easingStyle. And so basically the easing style is how the animation is going to occur. You can do bounce, and it'll kind of have like this bounce into the final position. Circular. A lot of these are like pretty self-explanatory. Linear is kind of like no effect. Quad and quint is where I think quad is when it starts slow and then it speeds up throughout the tween, and quint is where it starts fast and slows down throughout the tween. I could have those mixed up though. These are some of the main ones we'll use is quad and quint, as well as linear or bounce. You could just play around with them and see which ones that you like and want to use. For me, I'm just going to use linear, so it's like the same type of speed throughout the whole tween, so it's going to be like a nice linear speed. And then we're going to do enum.easingDirection.in. And then we'll make the tween, local position tween equals TweenService : create. And so, as you can see, while we're autofilling, the parameters that we must supply for TweenService : create, the parameters we must supply for this function are the object that we're tweening, the instance, our TweenInfo that we made. Alternatively, rather than making a variable for it, we can create it right there with just TweenInfo.new and then passing our parameters. And then the table property. This is going to be the property of the part that we are tweening. And I'll get more to that when we get there. So first I'll do the part, our tween info, then our property that we're tweening. We can make a table of this, so if we want to tween both position and or maybe C-frame and also like the size, we can we can include both of those. But to edit to tween these, we have to make a table for it. So in this case, if we just want to tween the position, we could write position equals vector3 dot new 0 10 10. In fact, we'll do 0 5 10. We're not going to edit the y position. Then simply to play our tween, we just write position tween colon position tween colon play, write it as a function, and then we'll actually put a wait beforehand. So we'll put wait for 3 seconds, and then we'll play our game. And after waiting 3 seconds, okay, so silly me, the problem that I was having where we weren't seeing the tween is that when I was running the game, when I was pressing play, we were loading into it after the tween plays. So if we just click on run, we won't have to load in and worry about that, and the code will just execute. And you can see we have that smooth animation. So tweens are used for that smooth animation, you know, really makes a nice effect for our parts if we want to like animate them in game. And then we will also do something for size. So we'll do size, and whenever you're editing the size of a part inside of a script, whenever you're editing the size property, you have to make a vector3 value, because vector3s store a 3-dimensional value for like your X, Y, and Z. So you can use that for size as well as regular position. So in this case, we'll tween it up to the size 5. And then we will rename our variable, like 5, 5, 5 on each axis. And then we'll edit our variable to size tween. And then we'll play the size tween. And then now if we run this, as you can see, our part tweens in size. So it really makes some nice smooth animations, and you could also edit the time duration on your tween info, so we can make this 0.5 so it occurs twice as fast. And then as you can see, so then there's also a lot of, basically any property of a part that has like 3 values, or in fact any property of a part that has 3 values on like on this, like how you have the X, Y, and Z, any value inside of the part, like any property, you can edit that way. Well, you could also edit transparency. So for example, if we wanted, we could change transparency, and we'll set that equal to 0.5, and we can tween that. As you can see, it went transparent a little bit. Basically, we could animate any like number value of our part if we wanted to. So we can even animate the orientation, and we'll set that equal to a vector3.new, and we'll do 45, 45, 45. As you can see, it animates on the axes for orientation. So yeah, tweening allows you to make all these smooth animations. We can even do color. I think it would have to be color 3. Color equals color 3 dot from RGB 125, 125, 125. I think you could just write color. It might have to be color 3. No, you can just write color, and we can even tween the color that way. So yeah, tweening allows for some nice smooth animations of a part inside of your game, and you can even use it in models. So if we had this model, then we could just do part.primary part, and so if we were to insert another part inside of here, call it part 2, move it, resize it a little bit, and then make a weld constraint to weld the parts together. You just have to set the primary part to the part we want to tween, and then we can tween the C-frame of this model to C-frame dot new vector 3 dot new 0 5 10. So part dot primary part. Let me go ahead and run this. Well, I mean that should have tweened with it, but I don't know. Either way, TweenService is a really flexible thing to use inside of your game, and it allows you to animate a lot of stuff relating to parts. So it's a pretty useful service in game, and this is just an introduction to the things that you can use it for. And I'm sure you'll find a lot of uses for it inside of your game when you're making it. So yeah, if you enjoyed this episode, then like, comment, subscribe. You know, it really helps encourage me to make more of these tutorials and get off my lazy bum. You know. But yeah, leave any comments with like some confusion or any critiques you have over the video, and otherwise, yeah, see ya.